Kia ora, everybody. My name is Lisa, and I am here with my friend Ashley. I am a Plunket Line nurse. I work for Plunket Line. I've been there for 2 years, just over 2 years. Today we are going to talk about toys. So it's called Let's Talk Toys. Ashley, do you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Kia ora everyone, I'm Ashley. I'm Injury Prevention Coordinator in Southland. I've just started here late last year. I'm very excited to share some knowledge with you guys today.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley. So awesome to see you. And so if anybody does have any questions around the topic today, please put it in our chat. Just to kick off, so we will be talking about the kinds of toys that are good for different ages and different stages, the standard of children's toys, tips of things to be vigilant when it comes to toys that aren't toys, so things like keys, remotes, playgrounds, play equipment, and water play, and communicating with our pepe and tamariki about keeping ourselves safe when we're playing with toys. All right, so Ashley, first question here. So what are some guidelines about appropriate toys for different ages and stages?
Well, we'll start off with the smaller PP. And so for children 0 to 6 months, we want to look for toys that can be safely chewed, sucked, and tugged. Toys that are big enough that won't fit in baby's mouth, avoiding choking hazards. This includes mobiles, interesting shapes, colours, soft toys, and rattles if they're in reach of the PP. When they're getting a little bit bigger and around 6 months to 1 year, we really want to look at toys that are strong and durable, safe, no detachable parts, able to be easily cleaned for hygiene for the tamariki, but also easy for mum, dad, whānau. Good choices would be like pull-along push toys, floating bath toys, anything that is safely marked on the packaging for children under 1 year of age. As we move on to bigger kids, 2 to 3 years, we definitely want to be looking into toys that might challenge the child, look into the child's coordination. Good choices would include crayons, felt tip pens, picture books, musical instruments. I'm sure mum and dad and whānau would really enjoy listening to all those things. Dress-up costume, a wee bit of dress-ups. Hand puppets is quite interactive for tamariki with mum, brother, sister, whoever. Slides, sit on and write on toys. When we are looking at age 3 to 5, it's really important to engage their imagination. So anything that's imaginative games, including toys, dress-ups, toy telephones, balls, buckets, spades, anything that they can sort of just free play is more encouraged. Again, paints, paper, colouring, chalk for outside, buying right-on toys, but also starting to introduce safety to the tamariki, helmets as well. It gets really tricky in a household when you've got multiple age tamariki or pipi, so just being mindful of what the littler ones could get into. Like obviously as the children get older and closer to 5, Lego is a great imaginative toy, but making sure that that's not left about because pipi's going to put it in their mouth later on when they find it on the floor. And I mean, we all understand that for whānau and for parents, it's a full-time job picking up all the little bits and pieces, but a lot of it goes with protecting our younger tamariki. Anything else you'd like to add there, Lisa?
Oh, I think even things like crayons and felt pens, especially for the older child as well, making sure that you do encourage your older, if you do have a older child and a younger child, to encourage them to learn to pick up after themselves. So
yes,
I know in my household there are times when the smaller child gets the pen and not so much a safety thing, but does draw on the walls,
yes.
which is added a little extra to the family. Yeah. No, some really great ideas for toys and keeping them age appropriate, which is really important. Cool. So in New Zealand, we do have some standards and rules around toys. What does that look like?
So in New Zealand, we do have mandatory standards for toys, especially for children under 3 years of age. We'll add the link to the report an unsafe product and the product safety requirements in the comments. I think something that's really important for whānau is there's a way of, on a product safety website, noting your findings, or if you're ever concerned about maybe the quality of a product. A lot of the things aren't reported, maybe I guess enough to actually warrant helping the future families. Product recalls are something that I don't think a lot of whānaus or parents kept in the loop on. So there is a way of looking at product recalls online. Again, we'll put the website on for the Commerce Commission, but they come through all the time. Like 1 week, something from a certain store could be safe, but then the next week it's deemed unsafe. So I guess it's just trying to keep up with what's happening. Online shopping is a big thing in today's society. I mean, I try and do all my shopping for birthdays without the children, and sometimes it looks like it's online shopping because it's the easiest thing, but depending on where you're getting your goods from, or if they're imported, they might not necessarily meet the New Zealand standard. Just because you can buy something and get it into New Zealand or from New Zealand doesn't always mean that it's guaranteed to meet the standards. So it's always just really important for whānau to know or look into potential risks of things and try and always be on the side of caution when purchasing online, especially from maybe sites that aren't very common, but maybe they've got a cheaper price range. But I guess it's just being mindful of what we're using, especially if it might be something we're putting on pipi or tamariki skin, if it was face paints or anything to do with crafting. I guess it's just making sure that we actually know what the ingredients are.
That's really good. And even like I've seen on Facebook pages of like Kmart or other places where they've wanted to do a product recall. So but I think that's awesome that you can actually look up and see product recalls. That's really interesting.
We'll definitely make sure that link is accessible at the end of this, because it's just, I guess it's teaching or showing the whānau that these things exist, a way of looking at yourself.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So what are some of the other big hazards to be mindful of? So there's always things in media, they talk about different products and things. So can you touch on that?
I mean, one of the basics things is, even just simple regular checking of the toys, like for cracks or breaks, because I mean, things over time that maybe are passed from one tamariki to the next one might have been in the sun and the plastic's starting to crack, or pieces are broken off, or a wheel is all of a sudden loose. I mean, nothing lasts forever, unfortunately. Something that's really common, and I mean, obviously it depends on what's going on in the household, but small high-powered magnets. We have a link to a Safe Kids video in regards to how dangerous they can actually be. So we'll put that below in the comments. Button batteries are definitely something we don't want our pipi or tamariki to get our hands on. They can be found in, such things as remote controls, but quite often other items. Making sure that if we are going to store them, because obviously we all store batteries for the next rainy day we need them, making sure they're out of reach and potentially up with your medicines and things like that are out of reach. Ideally, if you do need to have a button battery in your house, you want to make sure that it's actually in the component screwed in, not just popped in, because obviously we can all unfortunately imagine how devastating that would be to a tamariki's health if they were to swallow or consume that. And then I guess something, like Christmas, birthdays, they're all so much fun, but has anyone ever thought about the amount of packaging that we have when we unopen all these toys, plastic, plastic packaging, or the little twine things and the things that, the little silica packs.
Yeah.
In there, to keep toys dry. More of a choking risk than probably people realise. They're full of little bits in there and stuff. So just keeping things out of the way. Something that we probably all take for granted, and I've never actually thought about in my own home, to be perfectly honest, is the lid of the toy boxes. We all buy toy boxes to store our children's toys, but actually if that was to fall down on their hands or tamariki's head, it's probably actually not the best way of storing things. So I think definitely thinking about how we store toys and making them easily accessible to children, so we're not climbing to pull them down on ourselves, especially if it's a container of blocks or things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to add there, Lisa?
I think, Christmas, birthdays, there's lots of rubbish and packaging lying around. So just making sure that we tidy up and, help get the kids to help as well, tidy things up. I guess the other things would be, broken toys that have been stored outside. You talked about like the sun damage, making sure that they're not broken, and if they are broken, actually just putting it in the bin. I think that's the safest thing to do. I did have a question around bath toys and like the mold, and is there sort of an idea around how often or what to clean them with, that sort of thing?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the kids all love having toys in the bath or even the shower, can hold a lot of water and stuff. I mean, obviously we do need to err on the side of caution in regards to mold. The best thing, I guess, would be having a regular place to drain and dry them between bathing sessions, and maybe every couple of months, again, just checking the quality, that maybe someone hasn't bitten a whole little one or unfortunately is full of mold, and maybe starting again on that. Or even the balls and the foam pits, even something as simple as something that doesn't actually have a hole in it, but use it in the bath. It's probably more hygienic.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, so there are lots of things to look out for, especially around toys that aren't toys or aren't designed to be children's toys. So things like keys, phones, remotes. What's your thoughts around those?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, our tamariki just want to be like us, or they want to be like their older sibling. I mean, that's just life, and they see us do things, so of course they want to copycat us. So I guess the biggest thing is just supervision is key. I mean, they always want our car keys, so I mean, as long as you're supervising them with maybe a spare set, phones, remotes, anything really that they deem as an adult item, of course they're going to want to play with. So kids having a fake version of them is just something that we just need to be mindful of, but making sure that the supervision is there and there's no dangerous parts. Something that my kids always loved, and I don't know about yours, Lisa, but having access to a cupboard in the kitchen of pots and pans and Tupperware. I mean, they make a mess, but they love playing with these things while we're in the kitchen doing things too, like it's hard for them to understand why they can't help us if we're in the kitchen. So let's make them a safe place. Another thing to be very mindful of is remotes, because I mean, it is hard for our tamariki to distinguish maybe a fake one to a real one, and then access to batteries and things like that. So it's just keeping on the side of caution in regards to what maybe your tamariki or specific child might be inclined to do with them. So again, that's supervision, having eyes on them. I mean, I don't know about your kids, but when it comes to vacuuming the floor, for some reason, they all want to do it. They all fight me, get access to the lux. So something that is really important is to make sure that for crawling kids and even young tamariki, or maybe ones that just like to push the boundaries, is having the sockets covered. Otherwise, they try and plug in anything they can find, a hair straightener, a blow dryer that's hanging around, a phone charger. And obviously we don't want them doing that, or even sticking other things in there that potentially could give them a shock or hurt themselves.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Yes,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
What
So just touching back to helping with tamariki, helping in the kitchen and things. I mean, it's great, like, I don't know, most families, households have either access to or have their own at home, like a play oven or kitchen. And just trying to explain to the tamariki at a young age that, just because you can put your Play-Doh muffins in your fake kitchen, you can't do it in the real oven while it's going.
Yeah, true.
On the side of, just not having things accessible.
Yes.
Because I mean, it's fun to pretend you're cooking like mum, but maybe not the real oven. So you're just, again, erring on the side of caution there.
Yeah, that's great. Great point. Cool. What about outside playgrounds, around water?
Well, I mean, all tamariki, even Pepe, love being out on the grass and exploring everything that outside has to offer. I guess just being being mindful in the sense that a lot of communities have different playgrounds and play equipment, but definitely wanting to make sure that age appropriate importance for children exploring. Just because maybe the playground's real suitable for your 4-year-old, might not be suitable for your just walking 18-month-old. So again, just erring on that side of caution with supervision and making sure that we're not introducing children into maybe a high risk area. And then we have the fun topic of trampolines. I know that most households end up with a trampoline at some point in their whānau's life because maybe the older child is now of age or it's just something you have. But we do need to remember that, younger children, they're not quite as bone dense or developed as all tamariki. So just being careful of siblings double bouncing, getting knocked around. I mean, no one wants their child to have a head injury or a broken bone. Maybe, just erring on the side of one at a time, or again, parental supervision. Just because your section might be carefree outside, there's still that danger of some play equipment. I mean, they offer great, physical activity for the children outside, but it's not just to walk away and let them be free for all. And then, again, obviously you come into outdoor play with water play, and we do have our link to the previous live chat, but also just being aware when you're out in the community at a playground, if there's a stream or a pond or anything that they can access if they wander off too far.
Yeah, that's great. And I think we talked a bit about in the previous live chat, but just making sure that when your child is outside with water, just to make sure that there is parental supervision, and once the child's finished emptying out the buckets and the swimming pool and things, just
most
so
definitely.
that,
so it's definitely finished.
Stay safe. Finished. Done and dusted. Awesome. Yeah. Cool. And just sort of to round it off, how do we chat to our tamariki about safe playing and playing safe?
Well, I mean, it all comes down to the developmental age of the children and the tamariki, and even Pepe and stuff. From a young age, we can if they touch something and maybe it's hot, you sort of go, that's hot, we don't touch that, and it's just getting down with them and talking to them about why why the adult does it or why we don't do that, depending on their age and understanding. We could have as simple as a barrier for a cooking area just in the meantime, but I mean, if they're in with you, just teaching them, things are hot, things are sharp. Prevention is better than cure, but again, active supervision and just remembering that they're not probably unable to understand as much as we realize. Like, I think we need to give the children a lot more credit as to what they can and can't distinguish, but also allowing the children to participate and help and allow them to learn. And you might find that they actually don't want to play with the oven by themselves, because when mum is cooking, we can help.
Yeah, cool. There is a question here from Sinelli. Can toddlers play with go-karts and medium-sized cars?
Well, again, that would depend on the recommendations of each product. So I would definitely be thorough in reading the instruction manual and what is advised from the manufacturer, but also active supervision is definitely going to be key in this area. Even if it's just parked up, the motor could still be hot. We still want to prevent burns or cuts. So definitely refer back to what each product is, because there's no one size fits all in regards to toys.
Yeah, true. Yeah. There's another question around any toy ideas for 6-month-olds.
6 months old. Wow, that's going back a wee while from my children, Lisa. I'm not sure about you, but definitely, you can offer them, your plastics and stuff from the kitchen, and participating with you. But also, one of the things that my children really loved was the shape sorters. You can put the shapes in,
yes.
or the circles over and it stacks up.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, they like
anything
looking at
that she can't get in her mouth.
Yeah, physically can't get inside her mouth. Yeah, his or her mouth.
Yeah.
Because they're going to want to taste test it, play with it, put it to their mouth, throw it across the room. Let's be real. They're going to use all their senses. So, yeah, again, anything that's safe and not going to break.
Yeah. Another question: are toys with batteries bad for babies, especially when they're putting near their face?
I guess as long as you just need to err on the side of caution there, and see if to start with, if the toy is actually suitable for their age, if it is going near their face, and that the batteries are secured safely. But if the child's got something with a battery in it and potentially they're sucking on it, I would definitely err on the side of caution as to what they were doing. Most toys will have a manufacturer's instructions on what age group that this specifically might be for, or it could be something that's actually suggested to be away from the child to look at or listen to, rather than be right in their face.
Suggestions about proper storage of toys like wooden or plastics, especially with winter coming, and worried about the moisture going into the storage.
I'm presuming here that we might be storing some toys for rotating outside if we're talking about moisture. What's your thoughts, Lisa?
Yeah, that's what it kind of depends on. I guess it would be outside toys.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit lost there.
Let's assume.
Yeah,
let's assume outside.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's go with outside. So I guess if we had the means to potentially put them away, maybe even if it wasn't even a wood shed, just to keep them out of the weather while tamariki is not near them or playing with them. I understand that not everyone would have a shed or storage like that, but in regards to storing maybe like the balls or toys in a airtight container, definitely the temperature and moisture would definitely be of thought. We probably could do a little bit of looking into this and come back to this one. Maybe we could send a link about ideas for storage or suggestions from other people. I'm not 100% sure there.
Cool. Thanks, Ashley. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been awesome talking about toys and safety. So thank you very much. Would you like to just add anything there, Ashley?
I'd just like to say thank you to you, Lisa, for helping me there and making this a pleasant experience. Thank you to all the people that watched or sent in questions. I hope that I've helped in some sense or the other, and I'm sure I'll be back doing one of these another day.
Cool. Thank you so much.